Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's fundamental to parenting, yet often misunderstood: the power of praise. We all want to raise confident, kind, and capable kids, right? And we know positive reinforcement is a key tool. But are we using it in the most effective way? It turns out, how we praise our children can make a massive difference in their development, their motivation, and even their self-esteem. Let's start with a simple truth. Kids are wired to seek attention. Behaviors that get a reaction, especially a positive one, are the ones they're most likely to repeat. It's a basic principle of human nature. When your child does something and you smile, clap, or say, "Good job," you're sending a powerful signal. "I liked that. Do it again." This is the foundation of positive reinforcement, and it's a wonderful, connection-building alternative to criticism or punishment. But here's where things get interesting. Not all praise is created equal. Many of us default to what experts call global praise. These are the general, all-encompassing compliments like "you're so smart," or "you're such a good girl," or the classic "good job." While these phrases come from a place of love, they can have some unintended side effects. They're a bit like a fuzzy, out-of-focus picture. They feel nice, but they don't give our kids a clear image of what exactly they did to earn the praise. Imagine your child has just spent 10 minutes cleaning up their toys. You walk in and say, "Good job." They feel happy, for sure. But what part was the good job? Was it that they did it without being asked? Was it how neatly they stacked the blocks? Was it that they put the books back on the shelf? The message is vague. They know they did something right, but the specifics are lost. Now, let's replay that scene with a different kind of praise. Specific, descriptive praise. You walk in and say, "Wow, thank you so much for putting all your blocks back in the bin and lining up your cars on the shelf. The room looks so tidy now. It really helps me out." Can you feel the difference? It's huge. With this approach, you're not just giving a thumbs up. You're shining a spotlight on the exact actions you want to encourage. You're giving them a clear roadmap for success next time. They learn, oh, putting blocks in the bin and lining up cars is what Mom/Dad considers helpful and tidy. I can do that again. This shift from general to specific praise is one of the most powerful adjustments you can make in your parenting toolkit. Specific praise helps children understand cause and effect. They connect their specific actions to a positive outcome. This clarity is crucial for learning. It's like a coach telling an athlete, "Great job keeping your eye on the ball that time," instead of just "good hit." The specific feedback is what allows the athlete to replicate and improve their performance. It's the same for our kids. Let's look at another common scenario. Sharing. Two kids are playing, and a squabble breaks out over a favorite toy. After a moment, one child decides to hand the toy to the other. A general response might be, "You're such a good boy for sharing." It's nice, but it labels the child, not the action. A more effective response would be, "That was a really kind choice. I saw that you wanted to keep playing with the truck, but you decided to let your friend have a turn." That's what sharing is all about. This specific praise does several things. First, it acknowledges the child's internal struggle. You're showing them that you see their sacrifice, which makes them feel understood. Second, it defines the desired behavior shift. Third, it praises the choice and the action, not the child's fixed character. This is a subtle but critical distinction. Why is praising the action better than labeling the child? This brings us to the work of renowned psychologist Carol Dweck and her research on growth mindset versus fixed mindset. When we use global praise, like "you're so smart," we can inadvertently promote a fixed mindset. The child starts to believe that intelligence is a fixed trait they either have or don't have. This can make them afraid of challenges because they do unwant to do anything that might disprove their smart label. If they struggle with a puzzle, they might think, "Oh no, maybe I'm not so smart after all." They become less resilient and more likely to give up. On the other hand, when we praise effort, strategy, and specific actions, we foster a growth mindset. For instance, instead of "you're a natural at math," try, "I can see you worked really hard on those problems. You tried a few different ways to solve them until you found one that worked. That's great problem solving." This kind of praise tells the child that their abilities can grow with effort and strategy. It teaches them that challenges are opportunities to learn, not tests of their innate worth. They become more willing to take on difficult tasks and more resilient in the face of setbacks. So, how can we get better at giving specific praise? It takes practice, but it's simple. Think of yourself as a sports commentator, narrating the positive play-by-play. Start your praise with phrases like, "I noticed that you ... or "Thank you for ... or "It was so helpful when you ... double quotes." Then, just describe what you saw. "I noticed you were getting frustrated with that drawing, but you took a deep breath and kept trying. Look at the wonderful picture you made. Thank you for setting the table without me asking. I see you put a napkin and a fork at everyone's spot. It was so kind of you to ask your little sister if she wanted to play. I saw her face light up when you invited her." This descriptive praise also builds a stronger connection. It shows your child that you are truly paying attention to them, not just giving an automatic, pre-programmed response. You're seeing them, and you're seeing their efforts. This makes them feel valued and important. It builds their intrinsic motivation, meaning they start to do these things not just for the praise, but because it feels good to be helpful, kind, and persistent. The praise becomes a confirmation of their own internal sense of accomplishment. Let's be clear. This doesn't mean you can never say "good job" or "I am so proud of you" ever again. Of course not. These are natural expressions of love and joy. The goal isn't perfection. It's intention. The idea is to make specific, effort-based praise your go-to tool, especially when you're trying to teach a new skill or encourage a particular behavior. Save the big, general "I'm so proud of you" for moments of genuine, heartfelt connection. Think of it as building a library of successes for your child. Each piece of specific praise is like a book on a shelf, detailing a time they succeeded through effort, kindness, or perseverance. When they face a new challenge, they can draw on this library. They can remember, "I've done hard things before. I know how to stick with a problem. I am capable of being kind even when it's difficult." This builds a deep, unshakable confidence that comes from within, not from external labels. So, the next time you see your child doing something wonderful, take a pause. Instead of the automatic "good job," take a breath and describe what you see. Narrate their success. Acknowledge their effort. Shine a spotlight on their strategy. You'll be giving them a gift that lasts a lifetime. The gift of a growth mindset, a clear understanding of their own capabilities, and the internal motivation to become the best version of themselves. Try it out this week, and let us know how it goes in the comments below. What are some of your favorite ways to praise your kids? Sharing your experiences can help our whole community learn and grow together. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on raising happy, resilient kids. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see you in the next one. Ever feel like you're repeating yourself 1,000,000 times a day? Don't do that. Stop it. Why did you do that again? It's exhausting, right? What if I told you there's a simple, yet incredibly powerful shift you can make that will transform your home from a battlefield of wills into a more peaceful, cooperative space? It all comes down to two magic words: clear expectations. Think about it from a child's perspective. Their world is big, confusing, and full of things they're still trying to figure out. When we, as parents, give vague or constantly changing instructions, it's like asking them to navigate a maze blindfolded. They get lost, they get frustrated, and that's when the challenging behaviors often pop up. Instead of a long list of don'ts, we focus on the do's. Instead of "don't hit your brother," we say, "we use gentle hands in our family." It gives your child a clear, actionable goal. Gentle hands is something they can understand and practice. "Don't hit" only tells them what asterisk, not asterisk to do, leaving a vacuum of what they asterisk should asterisk do instead. Shouting, "Clean up this mess," when you're already frustrated is a recipe for a power struggle. A clearer expectation set beforehand works wonders. Try saying, "When the timer goes off in 5 minutes, it'll be time to put the blocks back in the red bin." Now, here's the second, equally important part of the equation: consistency. This is the glue that makes the expectations stick. It applies whether you're at home, at the park, or at grandma's house. When rules are enforced sometimes, but not others, it sends a mixed message. It teaches kids that rules are negotiable, and they'll start testing boundaries to see what they can get away with today. This isn't them being manipulative. It's them being little scientists, gathering data about their world. Our job is to give them consistent data. If the consequence for not using gentle hands is a brief timeout to calm down, that needs to happen every time. It shouldn't depend on how tired you are or how public the place is. Consistency builds a framework of security and predictability for your child. They learn that the world operates in a reliable way. This reduces their anxiety and the need to constantly test limits. It builds trust. They learn that you mean what you say, which makes your words more powerful and respected in the long run. So, let's break it down into practical steps you can start using today. First, sit down maybe with your partner and decide on a few core family rules. Maybe it's we use kind words, we clean up our own messes, and we listen when others are talking. Phrase them positively. Focus on the behavior you want to see. Instead of "don't leave your toys everywhere," try "we put our things away when we're finished." This positive framing is not just nicer to hear. It's more effective because it paints a picture of success for your child. For example, a picture of a child putting a toy in a bin next to the rule we clean up our messes. Put this shot somewhere. Everyone can see it, like on the fridge. Positive reinforcement is rocket fuel for good behavior. It shows them that you notice their efforts and that following the rules feels good. Now, what happens when they don't meet the expectation? This is where consistency is tested. The key is to have a pre-decided, logical consequence. It shouldn't be punitive, but rather a teaching moment. Remember, this isn't about being a strict drill sergeant. It's about being a loving, firm leader for your family. A great leader provides a clear vision and a reliable structure, which is exactly what your children need to thrive. This process takes time and patience. You will have to repeat yourself. You are giving them an internal compass that will guide their behavior even when you're not there. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 expectations to focus on this week. Write them down. Talk about them with your kids. And most importantly, stick with it. You'll be amazed at how quickly the atmosphere in your home can change for the better. You'll find yourself nagging less and connecting more, which is what we all want as parents. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more parenting tips that actually work. Let me know in the comments what your top family rule is. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video. Ever had one of those days? Your child is drawing on the walls, throwing food, or having a full-blown meltdown in the grocery store aisle? Your first instinct might be to yell, to punish, to just make it stop. I've been there, and trust me, that feeling of frustration is completely normal. But what if I told you there's a more effective and much calmer way to handle these moments? A way that not only stops the negative behavior, but also teaches your child valuable life skills. Today, we're diving deep into the art of calm redirection. It's a game changer for parenting, and by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new set of tools to turn chaos into a learning opportunity. So, what is redirection, really? At its core, it's about gently steering your child away from an undesirable action and towards a positive one, without resorting to yelling or harsh discipline. Think of yourself as a guide, not a guard. When your child makes a mistake, and they will because that's how they learn, our reaction sets the tone for everything that follows. A harsh reaction often fuels the fire. It can make a child feel scared, ashamed, or even more defiant. This can lead to a power struggle, and nobody wins. Even worse, it models the idea that getting angry is the way to solve problems. But when we stay calm and redirect, we're teaching them something profound: emotional control, problem solving, and that mistakes are fixable. Let's break down the first powerful redirection technique: offering choices. This is incredibly effective, especially for toddlers and preschoolers who are craving a sense of control over their little worlds. When they feel powerless, they often act out. For example, your child refuses to put on their shoes. Instead of a command like "put on your shoes now," which can sound like a challenge, try offering a choice. Do you want to wear your red sneakers or your blue boots today? Or do you want to put your shoes on by yourself? Or do you want mommy to help? Suddenly, the focus isn't on if they'll put on shoes, but how they feel empowered. You achieve your goal, and the morning routine moves on without a battle. This works for so many situations. It's time to clean up. Do you want to pick up the blocks or the cars first? Or at snack time? We don't throw our food. Would you like to eat your apple slices or your crackers now? It's a simple switch in language that can prevent a huge number of tantrums. The next strategy is guiding their attention to a better activity. This is particularly brilliant for babies and young toddlers whose attention spans are super short. If your baby is pulling on the lamp cord, instead of slapping their hand and saying no, you can scoop them up and say, in an enthusiastic voice, "Oh, look at this." Let's play with your colorful stacking rings instead. You're not just stopping the dangerous behavior, you're replacing it with something safe and engaging. You're acknowledging their curiosity, but channeling it in a better direction. For an older child, say, one who is jumping on the sofa, you could say, "The sofa is for sitting, but you have so much energy. Let's go outside and see how high you can jump on the grass." You validate their need to move their body and give them an appropriate outlet for that energy. This shows them you understand their needs, but that there are right and wrong places for certain activities. It's about being a problem solver alongside your child. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful teaching tools we have as parents: modeling the correct behavior. Our children are always watching us. They learn more from what we do than from what we say. This is where show, don't just tell becomes a parenting mantra. If your toddler snatches a toy from a friend, your instinct might be to force them to give it back and say sorry. A redirection approach would be to get down on their level, gently take the toy, and model the right way. You could say, "It looks like your friend was still playing with that." When we want a turn, we can ask, "Can I have a turn when you're done?" Then you can practice it with them. You can even model what to do when you make a mistake yourself. If you accidentally spill something, instead of getting frustrated, you can say, "Oops, I made a mess. That's okay. I'll just get a cloth and clean it up." This demonstrates that mistakes are not a catastrophe. They are simply problems to be solved. When we model patience, kindness, and problem solving, we are giving our children a blueprint for how to handle their own challenges as they grow up. Of course, the key to all of this is staying calm ourselves, which is often the hardest part. When your child is pushing your buttons, your body's stress response kicks in. Your heart races, you get tense, and it's easy to snap. So, how do we stay calm in the heat of the moment? First, take a deep breath. Seriously, just one slow, deep breath can interrupt that stress response and give you a precious second to think before you react. It can be helpful to have a quiet mantra you repeat to yourself, like "This is not an emergency," or "They are learning." Another trick is to lower your voice. It's almost impossible to yell when you're whispering. This can also capture your child's attention more effectively than a loud voice. And remember, it's okay to take a time out for yourself. You can say, "Mommy is feeling a little frustrated right now. I'm going to take a minute to calm down, and then we'll solve this problem together." This not only gives you the space you need, but it also models healthy emotional regulation for your child. It teaches them that it's okay to feel big emotions, and it shows them a constructive way to deal with them. Putting it all together, let's imagine a scenario. Your 4-year-old has just scribbled all over the kitchen table with a crayon. The old reaction might be, "What did you do? Look at this mess. Go to your room." Now, let's try the calm redirection approach. First, take a breath. Get down to their level and say calmly, "Crayons are for paper, not for the table." You've stated the boundary clearly, without shame. Next, you can redirect. "Let's get this cleaned up together. Do you want to use the wet sponge or the dry cloth?" You're offering a choice and involving them in the solution. While you're cleaning, you can model and guide their attention. "Here, let's put this big piece of paper down. This is the perfect place to draw." You can make a huge picture here. You've addressed the behavior, taught the rule, involved them in fixing the mistake, and provided a positive alternative. The child learns the natural consequence of their action, which is cleaning up, and they learn the correct place to draw, all without a single tear or yelling match. That's a huge win. Remember, this isn't about being a perfect parent. Nobody is. There will be days when you lose your cool, and that's okay. The goal is progress, not perfection. Every time you choose to calmly redirect instead of reacting harshly, you are strengthening your connection with your child. You are building a foundation of trust and respect. You're teaching them that you are their safe space, the person they can come to when they make a mistake, not the person they need to hide from. This approach isn't just about managing behavior in the short term. It's about raising emotionally intelligent, resilient, and capable human beings in the long term. It takes practice, patience, and a lot of deep breaths, but the payoff is incredible. You'll find more peace in your home and a deeper, more positive relationship with your child. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope these strategies give you some new ideas and a sense of empowerment. Parenting is a journey, and we're all in it together. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on positive parenting. I'd love to hear from you. In the comments, what's your go-to strategy for staying calm? See you in the next video.